The marbled murrelet, Rachyramele per aurus marmoratus, is a small seabird from the North Pacific. It is a member of the aukfa family. It nests in old-growth forests or on the ground at higher latitudes, where trees cannot grow. Its habit of nesting in trees was suspected but not documented until a tree climber found a chick in 1974, making it one of the last North American bird species to have its nest described. The marbled murrelet has declined in number since humans began logging its nest trees in the latter half of the 19th century. The decline of the marbled murrelet and its association with old-growth forests, at least in the southern part of its range, have made it a flagship species in the forest preservation movement. The marbled murrelet was formally described in 1789 by the German naturalist Johann Friedrich Bennin in his revised and expanded edition of Carl Linnaeus's Systema Naturae. He placed it with the grapes and looms in the genus Colymbus and coined the binomial name Colymbus marmoratus. Gemelin based his description on the marbled murrelet that had been described and illustrated in 1785 by both the English ornithologist John Latham and by the Welsh naturalist Thomas Pennant. Both authors mentioned the two specimens in the Levalloisian Museum that had been collected in Prince William Sound during James Cook's third voyage to the Pacific Ocean. Cook described the birds in his account of the voyage. It is about the size of a partridge, has a short, black, compressed bill, with the head and upper part of the neck of a brown-black, the rest of a deep brown obscurely waved with black, except the under part, which is entirely of a blackish cast, very minutely varied with white. The female is blacker above and whiter below. The marbled murrelet is now one of three species placed in the genus Brachyramele per aurus that was introduced in 1837 by the German-born naturalist Johann Friedrich von Brandt. The genus name combines ancient Greek brachus, meaning short, with ramele per horos, meaning bill. The specific epithet marmoratus is Latin meaning marbled. The species is monotypic. No subspecies are recognized. The long-billed murrelet was formerly considered conspecific with the marbled murrelet. A molecular phylogenetic study published in 1998 found that the mitochondrial DNA variation was greater between these two forms than between the marbled murrelet and Kitlitz's murrelet. The marbled murrelet is a small, 25 centimeters, chunky auk with a slender black bill. It has pointed wings and plumage that varies by season. The non-breeding plumage is typically white underneath with a black crown, nape, wings, and back. The bird closely resembles its congener, the long-billed murrelet. In fact, these species considered conspecific up until 1998. In breeding plumage, both have a brown mottled body and face. The long-billed has a pale white throat, which is lacking in the marbled. In winter plumage, the marbled murrelet has a white neck collar, absent in long-billed. The marbled murrelet is shorter, billed, and slightly smaller than the long-billed murrelet. Marbled murrelets occur in summer from Alaska's Kenai Peninsula, Barren Islands, and Aleutian Islands south along the coast of North America to Point Sale, Santa Barbara County in south-central California. They winter mostly within the same general area, except that they tend to vacate the most northern sections of their range, especially where ice forms on the surface of the fjords. They have been recorded as far south as Imperial Beach of San Diego County, California. They are coastal birds that occur mainly near salt water within 1.2 miles, 2 kilometers of shore. However, they have been found up to 59 miles, 95 kilometers, inland in Washington, 35 miles, 56 kilometers, inland in Oregon, 22 miles, 37 kilometers, inland in Northern California, and 11 miles, 18 kilometers, inland in Central California. Over 90% of all marbled murrelet observations in the northern Washington Cascades were within 37 miles, 60 kilometers of the coast in Oregon. They are observed most often within 12 miles, 20 kilometers of the ocean. Many marbled murrelets regularly visit coastal lakes. Most lakes used by the birds are within 12 miles, 20 kilometers of the ocean, but a few birds have been found at lakes as far inland as 47 miles. Marbled murrelets tend to nest in the oldest trees in the stand. In Oregon, forests begin to exhibit old growth characteristics at about 175 to 250 years of age. Moss, on which marbled murrelets nest, forms on the limbs of Douglas, fir that are more than 150 years old. The four tree nests found before 1990 shared the following characteristics. One located in a large tree, greater than 47 inches deep, pH, with an open crown structure. Two, on a moss-covered limb that is camouflaged, partially shaded, and approximately horizontal with a diameter, including associated moss, of at least 14 inches, 36 centimeters. And three, located within the middle or lower part of a live crown. However, Marshall stated that because of their low aerial buoyancy, marbled murrelets often nest high in the treetops or on steep slopes. Habitat must be sufficiently open to allow for easy flight. All marbled murrelet nests found in Washington, Oregon, and California were located in old-growth trees. Fewer marbled murrelets are found when clear-cut and meadow areas make up more than 25% of the landscape. Concentrations of marbled murrelets offshore are almost always adjacent to old-growth or mature forest onshore. Although marbled murrelets may not use the interior of dense stands, where large trees are absent in the northern parts of marbled murrelet range, marbled murrelets nest in depressions on the ground, in rock cavities on the ground, or on rock outcrops. Marbled murrelets are both ground nesters and tree nesters where forests and treeless areas meet. In northern regions where coniferous forests nest sites are unavailable, marbled murrelets occupy alpine or tundra near the ocean. In Washington and Oregon, they commonly nest in Douglas. Marbled murrelets forage in the ocean near shore and in inland saltwater areas such as bays, sounds, and saltwater passageways. Flocks of 50 or more birds have been observed near freshwater lakes. Subadults occur at sea throughout the summer. Marbled murrelets feed within 1640 feet, 500 meters of shore. Marbled murrelet winter habitat is the same as the nesting and foraging habitat. During the winter, marbled murrelets use inland old-growth or mature sites for roosting, courtship, and investigating nest sites. They often forage in pairs but do not feed in large flocks as do other alkids. Loose aggregations of 500 or more birds occasionally occur in winter. Subadults feed singly, but in early July, when pairs of adults are still feeding young, mixed flocks begin to form. Marbled murrelets feed during the day and at night. The nesting behavior of the marbled murrelet is unusual, since unlike most alkids, it does not nest in colonies on cliffs or in burrows. The egg is incubated for a month, then fed for around 40 days until the chick is able to fledge. Adults fly from ocean feeding areas to inland nest sites, mostly at dusk and dawn. They feed nestlings at least once, and sometimes twice per day or night. Usually only one fish is carried to the young. The chick then leaves the nest and flies unaccompanied to the sea. Breeding success is low and chick mortality high. Marbled murrelets do not breed until they are at least 2 years old. They nest from mid-April to late September. Peak activity occurs from mid-June to late July in California and the second week of July to mid-August in Oregon. Marbled murrelets are semi-colonial in nesting habits. 2 nests found in Washington were located only 150 feet, 46 meters apart. Not all mature adults nest every year. The clutch is a single egg. The nestlings fledge in 28 days. The young remain in the nest longer than other alkids and molt into their juvenile plumage before leaving the nest. Fledglings fly directly from the nest to the ocean. Steller's jays, Ionicita stellari, and common ravens, Corvus corax, prey on marbled murrelet eggs and nestlings. The marbled murrelet is considered globally endangered. Scientists at Redwood National Park have established a connection between human presence in marbled murrelet territory and corvid predation of marbled murrelet chicks. Properly counting marbled murrelets is, as a study by Darrell Whitworth and collaborators indicated, is difficult over large geographic ranges and long time period. This incorporates public domain material from Brachyramele per aurus marmoratus, United States Department of Agriculture. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to please like and subscribe. If you have a topic you would like to suggest, leave a comment.